Moonies are up on the mountain. The lunatics have taken over the asylum, waiting on the rapture. Singing we to keep your prices down, feed you to the hounds, to the Daily Mail, together, together. You made a pig's ear, you made a mistake, paid off security, got through the gate. You got away with it, but we're lying
Alright, everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome to another We Read the Documents live stream. I'm your host, John Brisson. Tonight, we're going to discuss the Unification Church, Part 2, Rod of Iron Ministries. And again, when you lie in the bed with dogs, you gotta get fleas. Yeah, the Unification Church is alive and well, and this time they're packing AR-15s, ammunition for the Lord, and voting for Donald John Trump and MAGA. Yeah. That's right, I feel patriotic tonight, chat. Yeah. Woo! Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle in the chat. Based and moon-pilled. Oh, yeah, the CNP is still in bed with the Moonies! I gotta thank Don Diligent for sending me some info on this. Shout out to you, Don. Glad you broke free of the clutches of the Moonies many years ago. That's where we're at. Why are Christians still in bed with the Unification Church or its remnants? Why are they still in bed with the heretical Moonies? They still want that money. Is that what it is? That money, honey? Love of mammon? Remember, it's not money itself. That's just paper. That's just paper, but it is the love of money. Mammon. that is the root of all evil. So I guess that's why it makes all these Christians, if I dare even want to call them that. These people probably have the spirit of Antichrist filled in them, just like First John mentioned. For them to go with the Moonies. Remember the Reverend Sung Mung Moon. You can go back and listen to a show I did on the farm with Don Diligent, Recluse, Keith, talking about the Unification Church. I think more than 3 hours if you want to learn about the Unification Church and what they were. But the Reverend Sung Mung Moon, you want to call him that, Reverend, claims that he was the Messiah, that he was the second coming of Christ. The blasphemer that he was. That Jesus Christ had failed his mission to be crucified on the cross and could not unify the world, and therefore Moon was the one to do it. Of course, the Council for National Policy would get in bed with the Moon money. Why not? False prophets, false Christian teachers like the Reverend Jerry Falwell would take that Moon money to save Liberty University. The Reverend Sung Mung Moon would give Tim LaHaye some seed money to start the Council for National Policy in 1981. But that's where we're at. That's where we're at today. It's continuing. It's still going on. Oh, the shame and the judgment that will be done to the people that still push is bullcrap. Yep, Moonies, aka the CIA, just like the Unification Church, had many connections to the Korean Central Intelligence Agency, the Korean CIA, which of course the Korean CIA has ties to the United States CIA. And even the Finders used to set up banquets for the Moonies. Never ends, does it, chat? It's sick and disgusting, and I wish I didn't even have to talk about this with you. But I have to. Someone's got to do it. Sorry if I'm a little giddy or happy. I don't know if you can call it that. A little bit alive. I got the Holy Spirit going through me right now. Maybe I'm upset. Maybe I feel bad for the people who are continuing to falling for this. It's, you know, it's not the Unification Church anymore. It's rallies for MAGA and Second Amendment rights and patriotism and America. Those people are blinded by that. Instead, they get false doctrine. They get Satan whispering in their ears. All in the guise of the spirit of America. I feel bad for those people that are duped. I mean, look at them. Look at Sean Moon. Look at the person who inherited Sun Moon's Unification Church. Look at him. Got the royal crown of ammunition. Got them rods of iron. I guess the Bible's taught about AR-15s. I guess God must have known about AR-15s back then when the Bible was written. Oh, my bad. I mean, I will give them credit. it is kind of hillbilly chic. All right? Sanctuary Church, whose proper name is World Peace and Unification Sanctuary, which also goes by a more muscular sounding name, the Rod of Iron Ministries. Rambo! Stands inconspicuously on a country road. It winds through the village of Newfoundland, Pennsylvania, 25 miles southeast of Scranton. The one-story low-slung building used to be St. Anthony's Catholic Church. Before that, it was a community theater, which is why there are no pews, only a semicircle of tiered seats facing the old stage, now an altar. On a Sunday morning in late February, 38-year-old Pastor Young Jin Sean Moon, son of the late Reverend Sung Young Moon, entered stage right wearing a white hoodie and cargo pants. He strapped on a leather headband and picked up a microphone. "Okay, take it away," he said. The electric pianist and two female vocalists who function as a choir. They launched into the first four songs, "O Light of Grace, Shining Above, Lighting My Dim and Shadowed Way." The 200-plus congregants packed in the room sang along with gusto. Pastor Sean stood by his front row seat with his wife at his side, wringing his hands like an orchestra conductor. The song cycle ended in a brief prayer. He took center stage. "Look at all these crowns of sovereignty," he exclaimed, gazing upon his audience. One tenet of the Sanctuary Church said, "All people are independent kings and queens in God's kingdom." A kind of don't tread on me notion of personal sovereignty, hence the symbolic gold and silver crowns bobbed in row and after row of heads. Hear that, chat? Hear that? Hear that? If you join this church, join Rod of Iron Ministries, you become a king and or queen in heaven. Get your own crown. They got guns up in heaven, chat? They got AR-15s in heaven? I don't remember reading about that in the Bible. I remember that you could be a king or queen in heaven. I don't remember reading that either. Then again, I don't ever remember reading that Jesus Christ failed his mission. Oh, God. This crowd was about twice the usual size because the servant was to warm up with the renewal marriage vows ceremony scheduled for Wednesday morning. Scores of couples have already arrived from Japan and Korea. That ceremony officially the cosmic true parents of heaven and earth humanity, Cheon E. Gook Book of Life Registration Blessing. Oh, that's a mouthful. Is it kind of, I mean, cosmic true parents of heaven? Like, it sounds like New Age. Like, if anybody doesn't think this is New Age theosophy, you know, like you could have said this. Like, you could have read this out. Cosmic true parents of heaven, earth, and humanity, Book of Life Registration Blessing. You could have said that. Like, you could have been like, are we at a theosophy conference here? Are we listening to a speech given? The wedding blessing event was generating nationwide attention, something new for the Sanctuary Church, which until now hadn't even registered on the radar of the Pocono Record, local daily newspaper, a key pillar of Sanctuary dogmas, the importance of owning a gun, particularly the lethal, lightweight AR-15 semi-automatic, which the National Rifle Association has proclaimed the most popular rifle in America. Last fall, Pastor Sheen studied the Book of Revelation. Makes multiple reference to how God one day will rule his earthly king with a rod of iron, chat. While the revelation was written long before the event of firearms, Pastor Sean concluded that the rod of iron was Bible speak for the AR-15. And that Christ, not being a tyrant, will need armed sovereigns to help keep him the peace in his kingdom. That's right. That's right, chat. Gonna gun down the heathens. Yeah. I'm going to read just parts of this. I just wanted to give a little bit of a beginning. Here's a little bit of Sean delivering a sermon. You must shed the slave mentality and adapt the royal mentality. That's right. We're kings. Kings of God's army. The Democratic Party has become the Communist Party funded by Nazi collaborator George Soros. The fake ministers and fake priests are pushing a dictator Christ. He took pot shots at his favorite targets. Hillary Clinton, she was paying for the Russian dossier. Pope Francis, a socialist communist devil. And a government that gets too big for his britches. Jesus never centralized power. Jesus never created government. He said the worst killer in all humanity the last 100 years is a centralized government. We're anarchists. Anarchists, chat. Huh. Doesn't it sound like Alex Jones could have given that same speech? Am I missing something here? They wear camo for the Lord. They learn Filipino knife fighting. It's not about being badass. It's about practicing to be deadly because you love people, Pastor Sean told his flock. The way of the rod of iron is the way of love. That's right. When Reverend Sung Young Moon died of complications from pneumonia in 2012 at the age of 92. Set off a power struggle within his family. Sean, with backing from older brother Cook Jin Justin Moon, contends he was selected from among his 10 adult siblings to inherit the Unification Church mantle and be crowned the next generation's second king. Not a full-fledged messiah like his father purported to be, but nonetheless responsible for finishing the work of building God's kingdom. That's right. Just like dominionism, God needs your help out there, chat. God needs you to build his kingdom. Not the Great Commission, not, spreading the good news and letting people know that Jesus Christ died for their sins on the cross. No. That's not. That was directly what Jesus told us to do. It's the Great Commission. Spread the good news. No. No, I'm sorry. All right? Rod of Iron Ministries wants you instead to get your AR-15 and go out there and spread the gospel. But not the true gospel, their gospel. And finish the building of God's kingdom. That is a heresy. That is the bullcrap that comes from dominionism, Seven Mountains dominionism. It comes from the New Apostolic Reformation, and it is steeped in the Council for National Policy. It's disgusting. Carl Hassel in the chat, God's plan for America. You do the footwork, starving, and take the pain. According to Moon. Sparkle, spreading the gospel at 400 rounds per minute. Yep, just like when the Unification Church was funding the Latin American death squads. The Council for National Policy being involved as well. Killing those godless commies down there in Central and South America. Of course, a lot of innocent people also died. But collateral damage. The church that we're fighting over has roots in both Korea and America. The Reverend Moon, born in 1920, is now North Korea, but was then part of Japan. So Jesus appeared to him when he was 15 and asked him to take on the special mission, completing God's kingdom on earth. I'm not going to go over the history of the Moonies. I've already done that. Oh, boy. Pastor Sean is convinced that America's system of government will become obsolete. Where we heard that? Where Where have we heard the Constitution, with all the Founding Fathers' flaws, with all the flaws of the Constitution? Where have we heard that, you guys? I don't know, maybe Steve Pachinik on Alex Jones? Maybe the Kochs wanting to do a constitutional convention? The elites wanting to do a con-con? You want a con-con, chat? You want a con-con? You think the Constitution and the framework of government we have, and the amendments, the Bill of Rights, you guys want our politicians to decide what stays and what goes? And the Kochs are pushing it. We could trust the Koch brothers, right? Well, I mean, the one surviving Koch now, but still, nonetheless, the Koch brothers were pushing it, so we could trust the Kochs, right? They really have our interests best at heart. So yeah, Pastor Sean has taken upon himself to write a Constitution of the United States, grounded in the principles articulated by his father. Oh boy! You guys want a Constitution that was developed by the heretic Sun Moon, huh? Sounds great. And if all proceeds according to divine plan, the country will be ruled by monarchs drawn from his branch of the Moon family. I mean, the CNP wants dominionism. They want divine right of kings to return. Seems about right, right? Sure. According to them, why not? If the kingdom comes in Sean's lifetime, he'll take the reins as king of the United States. Brother Justin, who serves as the Sanctuary Church de facto assistant pastor, is set to be Inspector General, a super special prosecutor charged with rooting out government corruption. Don't worry, it's not a theocracy, Sean says. We would refer to it as a libertarian Christian monarchy, or maybe a libertarian Republican democracy. Oh boy. Oh boy, chat. Sickening. All this is sickening. So we got the Rod of Iron Ministries. Oh. Sign up for freedom and liberty. Sign up for a Rod of Iron Patriot class. Oh, that's right. Oh boy, chat. Be a patriot. We're looking for leaders, believers, peacekeepers. Do you have what it takes? We believe in America, you know, the America our founding fathers originally intended. Not this America our biased media wants us to believe in. We think for ourselves. We believe the Second Amendment applies to all freedom-loving individuals across the planet. Well, I mean, it would only apply to United States citizens. What, are we going to conquer the world? We're gonna invade Australia because, you know, the Australians can't have guns? Is that what we're doing now, chat? Are we... I mean, look. If Sean Moon becomes king, we're going to be using those AR-15 rods of iron. Oh, yeah, chat. We going to go. And we're going to make sure the Australians have their gun rights. Yeehaw! We believe it's time to stand together against tyrants and destroyers of freedom. Freedom is fragile. Freedom is under attack. Freedom must be defended immediately. Now are you with us? I mean, yeah. But I mean, as Mr. Bork and I have talked, past, freedom is given to us by God. Liberty is given to us by the government. Oh boy, chat. Council for National Policy member Larry Pratt. Gun Owners News Hour on Genesis Communication Networks. Now, Genesis Communication Networks, that wouldn't be the same network that has Alex Jones on. And that wouldn't be the same network that was started and owned and ran by one Adnan Cassiogi, would it, chat? Oh, my bad. Didn't Larry Pratt call for Latin American death squads? That our militia should be trained like the Latin American death squads in the United States? Oh, I'm sorry. So, of course, Larry Pratt loved Sun Moon. And, of course, he's going to love Sean Moon. So if you're out there thinking, oh, man, I'm not going to join the NRA. Of course, the National Rifle Association had the gun runner, the trafficker supporter, child trafficking supporter, and drug runner, Ollie North, as their president. Yeah, the NRA had a arms trafficker. Of course, those arms were brokered by the great state of Israel to Iran, who is now our enemy. As the head of the NRA. Of course, now the NRA is being investigated by the Southern District of New York, but you know, that pesky SDNY full of nothing liberal commies. Wayne LaPierre is a good Christian man. He would never squander money. Council for National Policy member Wayne LaPierre, by the way. So Larry Pratt says, I would urge people to get a copy. An excellent apologetic for the Second Amendment, a handbook for dealing with some of the big mistakes people make when talking about the Second Amendment, self-defense, and limiting the power of the government. Excellent compilation of some of the major Second Amendment topics we need to have at our fingertips. That's right. Buy you a copy of the Rod of Iron Kingdom. Learn about the Unification Church and it's what it is now, the Rod of Iron Ministries. And learn about your Second Amendment rights. Yeehaw! Oh, chat. Satanism and Ritual Child Sexual Abuse Opinion Column. Former FBI Senior Special Agent in Charge, Ted Gunderson, warned us about the growing influence of satanic-related crimes in America. Oh, well, chat, we know that I discuss these things. The Finders. The Finders were talked about by the Rod of Iron Ministries. Oh, boy. Maybe in a separate stream, maybe I should read this, chat. You think I should read this in a separate stream? Wait a minute, chat. This is something later. Right here. Let us stand with vets for child rescue today. Oh, Craig Sawman Sawyer. There's no way you would have been involved with the Rod of Iron Ministries, right? There's no way it would have took you 2 seconds as a good Christian man to Google the Moons and be like, I want no part of this. Oh, we're gonna get to Craig Sawman Sawyer, who used to run a network for the bodyguards of Hillary Clinton, John McCain, and John Negroponte. Sorry, chat, I'm a little fired up. A lot of it is because I'm disgusted and angry. I'm sickened. And no, I don't hate any of these people. I'm going to pray for them. And many of these people, they don't know any better. But then again, a lot of them do. And it takes just 2 seconds. You could just Google 2 seconds. And you'll find, especially if you're Christian, it takes 2 seconds. It's even on the Wikipedia page. Come on! Helpful links. Gun Owners of America, National Rifle Association, CNS News, InfoWars, the Mooney-owned Unification Church on Washington Times, Alex Jones' Prison Planet. Interesting. InfoWars and Prison Planet. Of course, Scientology, Gnosis, Prison Planet. Fox News. The World Tribune. Of course, we got Common Sense. Oh, boy. Thomas Paine. Rudolph Giuliani's Common Sense. Thomas Paine, who degraded Christianity, who was one of the worst founding fathers. Oh, they're pushing that Thomas Paine? Oh, imagine that. Thomas Paine professed God in Common Sense to get the average colonist to be for the American Revolution, just like the Moon family professes God the Father and Jesus Christ to get people to buy in their bullcrap. So now you have them confessing it and that they're patriots to dupe people into to support the Rod of Iron Ministries. But Jesus is going to say, I don't know you, to these people, to the Moon family. I don't know you. You say you know me, but I don't know you. Oh boy. About Rod of Iron Ministries, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as in heaven, Matthew 16. How dare they? How dare they blaspheme the teachings of Jesus Christ and use them to their advantage? How dare they? Of course, love God, love your neighbor. Love God, love your neighbor with AR-15s. Am I right, chat? America. Interesting, they say our mission is experience the freedom that comes to a relationship with Jesus Christ, the King of Kings. Co-heirs with Christ. So they're co-heirs with Christ. They're equal to Christ. Oh, I want to cuss so bad. Lord help me. Hey, anybody who is following Rod of Iron Ministries or been duped by them, if you just read their about page, you could have figured out it's messed up. You had any type of discernment. This isn't Christian. This isn't the teachings of Jesus Christ. This isn't the teachings of the New Testament. It's not even the teachings of the Old Testament. As we are to love God and love our neighbor through protecting God's kingdom with the rods of iron. That's right. You love them by taking AR-15 to them. Peace police, peace militia activities. Hasn't? I mean, if the Federal Bureau of Investigation were actually going to do their jobs, why would they be investigating this? The Reverend Hyung Jin Sung Moon is the youngest son of the Reverend Sun Moon. He was named by his father as sole successor to his ministry in 2009 and earned a Master's of Divinity from Harvard University in 2010. Oh boy. Look like Harvard University, their master's degrees aren't worth what they're printed on if they're going to give one to Sean Moon. Of course, down here he's got his Constitution. Oh boy, that would be fun to read one day, wouldn't it, chat? Oh boy. 19 pages. Oh god, the authority of the king. Oh boy. Getting a king, chat. Getting a king. So as you can see, there's a huge difference. A very, 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 very huge difference between what we are told biblically to do as Christians, which is known as the Great Commission. But the 11 disciples proceeded to Galilee, to the mountain which Jesus had designated. When they saw him, they worshipped him, but some were doubtful. And Jesus came up and spoke to them, saying, all authority has been given to me in heaven and on earth. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I commanded you, and lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. That's what we're told to do. Not this dominionism, New Apostolic Reformation, conquer the world, manifest destiny, whatever you want to call it. So, of course, we have the 2020 Freedom Festival schedule, chat. Oh boy. Well, look at all these. Oh, Patriots for Trump dinner. Oh, Korean barbecue. Korean barbecue is yummy, chat. I'm sorry. Sushi. Wall of guns raffle. You get a wall of guns? You get a Tommy gun with Donald John Trump on it. That's right. Oh boy. Council for National Policy Ambassador Alan Keyes, former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. Oh boy, Alan Keyes. Speaking. Oh, black guns matter. Look at all these people. Look at them. All these CNPers. Of course, not all of them being in the CNP, but many of them. Having said, oh, Marxism exposed. Oh boy. Of course, the press. Now, this is what got me. Just like we saw earlier. Navy Sealand founder of Vets for Child Rescue, Craig Sawman Sawyer. Oh boy. Sawman himself was at Gunstock. The Rod of Iron Freedom Festival in 2020. Oh, Sawman. Comments, Sawman? Contact me. Oh, contact me. I dare you to contact me. Let's talk. Why would you, a good Christian man... Of course, you go on InfoWars with Alex Jones, and he's giving you money for Contraland. How much was it, Sawman? Tens of thousands, $100,000 allegedly, somewhere around there? How much were you given? And you throw your lot in with the Moons? Take you 2 seconds. 2 seconds to Google them. How dare you, sir? Oh, Benghazi warrior John Tegan. Conservative pro-Constitution patriot Mark Keith Robinson. Oh, boy. Look at all these people. Gun Owners of America Executive Vice President was there, John Velico. Second Amendment Foundation founder Alan Gottlieb. Tisk to these people. Tisk. Of course, they also had the Freedom, Faith, and Family Coalition Save the Nation Conference. Oh, boy. CNPers all a lot, too. What says you, chat? Is this sickening? Is this sickening that the CNP still continues and these false Christians still continue to suck off the teat of the Moon family for money and for power? Am I being a little too harsh, chat? Press 1 if you think I'm being a little too harsh. Press 2 if you think that I'm not being too harsh. You won't be harsher. Which one? Sparkle says 2. Anybody else? Two says the Big D. Lynn Max says 2. Mark Finch says 2. And Today's Prophet says 2. Okay. Just want to make sure that I was right. Just wanted to make sure that I wasn't being too harsh. Carhassel says 2. All right, so next we have Alan Keyes giving an interview. Rod of Iron Kingdom. This was even before the conference. Oh, got the King's Report, chat. Does anybody see anybody, chat? You guys see anybody that's worth mentioning out there? Anybody you see? CNP or just anyone in general? Probably going too fast. I don't see anybody. Satan was the first pedophile, chat. Did you guys know that? There's been 2 streams so far. Oh, Joel Pilot. Joel Pollack, senior editor of Breitbart, chat. Oh, boy. Being interviewed. Joel Pollack. Wow. Breitbart, chat. Breitbart. Jesus ain't no commie. I don't know if you can give a political ideology to Jesus. Seems a little bit like man trying to do that. Fine. U.S. must destroy the CCP. Goddess culture and sexual corruption. Now that is an issue. And Jezebel is an issue. Rod Iron Patriots. Oh boy! Interview of Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, chat. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West. I tell you, CNP loves Alan West. I actually thought Trump was going to make him the riot czar. That was being pushed by MAGA Twitter. That Alan West was going to be the riot czar. Oh, Mark from Houstonic Live says in the chat, clear Flynn, true American patriot. And Jesus would clear Flynn. I think he would. I mean that's what everybody tells me. Michael Flynn didn't do anything wrong. He's a patriot. That's what I see on Twitter all the time. I mean, that's what I see. How did the Moon family ever get so powerful? Drug money? Everything you can think of and more. Major connections and being propped up and set up by the United States Central Intelligence Agency. Uh-oh. Interview with Dr. True Odd, huh? Dr. Odd. Now, how could you? How could you, Dr. Odd? You're over there on Revolution Radio. How could you? Jimmy Jean, you need to tell Dr. Odd he needs to stop going on with the Moonies. Oh, Alan Keyes. All right, everybody. I'm tired of looking right now. I'm just looking real quick just to see if I see anyone else. Another interview with Andrew Pollack. Oh boy, Breitbart really loves them some Moonies. Someone needs to tell Bannon. Oh, someone will tell Bannon in a minute. Hi-yo! Uh-oh! Oh no, Chad. Oh no. Lecture by Craig Sawman Sawyer. At the last, he's been to 2 Rods of Iron Freedom conferences. Oh boy, what are you doing? What are you doing, Craig? Craig, what are you doing? No, what are you doing, Craig? No, what are you doing? You're supposed to be saving the kids, Craig.
Craig Sawyer with us. And I've gained a lot. The child child, it's more difficult. That's what matters to me. And I'm going to live at that level because I think that's better.
That's Sawman. Sawman, how could you? How could you, Sawman? Just go ahead. You know, reach out to me. Just go ahead and admit that you made a mistake. You threw your lot in with false prophets. It's okay. Just admit it. Just admit it. Just come clean. That's all you gotta do. Ooh, cancel the Rothschild debt, chat. Oh boy. Oh, jeez. Jesus Christ, have mercy on this nation. God have mercy. God the Father, have mercy on this nation. Have mercy on these people that just don't know any better. This is just ridiculous. This is ridiculous. All right, so now, Larry Pratt, head of Gun Owners of America. Well, it's worth scrolling down a little bit further. You guys gonna start watching the King's Report? I mean, he is the king. He is the king. Gotta get the King's Report. All right. Next, what's this? War Room Pandemic Rod of Iron? Steve Bannon, how dare you, good sir? How dare you? How dare you?
Stephen K. Bannon.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Welcome back to the War Room. Hey, Raheem, I want to give you a notice that on Jag Maxey's T-shirt, "Life is a dangerous business." My 3 ex-wives have already contacted me, blown my phone up. They want to order them in bulk. So, Jack, great idea about swag for the War Room crowd.
I'm making them. I'm
making them. I'm taking the commission. If nobody else is going to get this done, I'm going to get it done.
Also, everybody loves maggots for Trump.
That's Maget. That's Maget. Please, that's Maget's. Okay. I want to go now. We got over the weekend. I was very honored on Saturday and Sunday to be working the territory up in Northeast Pennsylvania with Rod of Iron Ministries in a tremendous conference out there. The Rod of Iron Conference was to bring supporters of the Second Amendment together to hear motivational talks and to hear policy talks about supporting President Trump and really focus on trying to get out the vote. Want to now turn to, we got Justin Moon, who's the owner of Car Arms. Right, an innovative gun manufacturer and a gun company that's now relocated. It's actually in Pennsylvania, in Pike County, and the pastor Sean Moon. Justin, Sean, I want to thank you guys very much. First off, Sean, I want to go to you, Pastor Sean. What is Rod of Iron Ministries? The concept Rod of Iron? I was so fascinated when Alexander Priet and the other Pennsylvania crowd came to me. The name in and of itself attracted me to want to be part of it. But what does Rod of Iron Ministries stand for?
Well, the Rod of Iron Ministries, it comes from the scriptures in the Bible that show a decentralized armed society as the kingdom of God, where the rulers or co-heirs with Christ are made into kings and priests.
Oh, chat. You know what that sounds like? You know what that sounds like, chat? Oh. You know what that sounds like, don't you? That sounds like exactly what we're being told right now by people in the New Apostolic Reformation.
As Revelation chapter 1 and verse 5 states, and as the Bible says in Psalm chapter 2, we shall rule the nations with the rod of iron and dash them to pieces like the potter's vessel. But in the poimaino rule, that is the shepherd's rule, not obeying man's laws like these crazy Chi-Com lockdown laws that we are protesting, but God's laws and celebrating God, guns, and country.
So when you look at the CCP virus, Reverend, I want to stay with Pastor Sean. I want to stay with you for a second. I'll come to Justin in a minute. But when you look at the pandemic, when you look at what's going on, and particularly in a state like Pennsylvania, what's your beef? What's your problem with what they've tried to do? Since public health officials are just saying, hey, we want you to wear a mask, we want you to lock down, we want you to social distance, because the way to stop the spread of this virus is to listen to public health officials. So what is Rod of Iron? What's your complaint about that? And what's your complaint? How do you tie that back to your biblical kind of orientation?
Well, the Bible says that we must submit ourselves unto God, but resist the devil, and he will flee. And so it is incumbent on the Christian to stand against unrighteousness. And, our father was freed from a North Korean death camp by U.S. forces. So we know North Korea, we know communism very well. And he always taught us that it was political Satanism, that it's not just an ideology. It actually brings a culture of Satanism and genocide of children, of pedophilia, of breaking up marriages and families and destroying the father in the home, because really the hatred is for Jesus Christ and the Father, to replace him with a Luciferian figure or a fallen Eve figure. But it's been so draconian here. 60% of businesses, as you know, will be devastated and probably won't open again because of these crazy.
I don't even know what to say, chat. Like, this is so... I don't even know where to... I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start the false doctrine and eisegesis and to revelation that is being spewed. And there's people that believe, there's people that will fall for this, that will stray them away from Jesus Christ and then God their Father, and the person will taint it. This is why you have to call this stuff out. It's ridiculous.
Chi-com lockdowns. We essentially have become China here, and we're being forced to shop in Chinese grocery stores like Walmart and Amazon.
I'm not hunting heretics. I'm not saying we burn them at the stake. I'm reproving, which the apostles and the disciples did. And yes, the spirits are an inner monologue, but also that whole entire passage is to talk, part of 1 John is discuss the difference between a believer and a non-believer and be able to suss out the difference between them. I'm not hunting these people. I don't hate them. But still, we're not supposed to let them spread heresy to the world. We are supposed to defend the Bible. We are supposed to defend our faith in Jesus Christ. These people will lead people astray. The apostles and the disciples, even what later became the apostolic church, spent a lot of time reproving these people. And yes, some repented and some were reproved. Polycarp was able to do that, to get some Gnostics to understand the heresy of their ways. Oh, so not laymen. Okay. So you don't believe that as Christians we're supposed to do the Great Commission? It's very Catholic. It's very Catholic belief. I would disagree with that. I think as all of servants of Jesus Christ, that we are supposed to spread the good news and the good word, and we are supposed to reprove. I mean, it's even in the Didache that I read. That was to the Christians, not just the disciples and the apostles, but were to the Christians. Or one of the earliest documents that we have in the early Christian church said that we're supposed to reprove. As Christians, we are supposed to reprove. We're supposed to reprove some. Brothers were supposed to pray. Brothers were supposed to love greater than our own life.
Etc. I mean, we might as well be shopping in Beijing, Steve. It's so crazy that we're experiencing this kind of communist style, iron hand, heavy-fisted lockdown orders. It's unbelievable. This is America.
Justin, I want to go to you, the head of CAR Arms. I know that you're very involved in the Second Amendment, and it was one of the main reasons for the conference. As you looking at the conference, you had such a huge draw. Where are Second Amendment advocates right now coming out, particularly in Pennsylvania? I don't think it's getting enough play that Joe Biden and these guys have a pretty radical plan for the Second Amendment. I mean, we won in 2016 because working class Democrats, union workers up in Michigan and places like Pennsylvania who are culturally conservative and particularly NRA members and hunters really backed the president. Do you think it's getting enough play this time, these issues around the Second Amendment, and do you think it's motivating people?
Oh, absolutely it's motivating people. Well, Steve, Northeast Pennsylvania is really the key area where we got to keep the Trump coalition in place, and we got to get out the vote so that Trump can be pushed over the top to be reelected as stay as the 45th president in this 2020 election cycle. And you know what? The good news is that from the local political level, looking at all the alliances that existed in 2016, all the alliances that existed in 2016 are still in place, and they still intend to support President Trump. And we're working every day right up to the election to get the vote out, to make sure that we bring Pennsylvania over the top for the president and secure a victory for the president in 2020.
Heard that,
so,
folks.
Justin, let me ask you, how
can Pennsylvania
every
win?
piece of polling you're seeing coming out right now has got Pennsylvania, Trump's down 4, he's down 5, he's down 6. There's some polls says he's down 8, 9, or 10. Given the enthusiasm I saw the weekend, given what you just said about the alliances, given the fact that everybody I talked to in Pennsylvania said, hey, people are more motivated than in 16 because they've seen how Trump can deliver. Walk our audience through, are these polls somehow off, or is it really he's that far behind and he's got to make it up with a big game day turnout? What is your thinking about these polls that are out there right now?
Well, let's just compare it relatively to 2016. So they only say that he's 4 points behind and say he only has like a 40% chance of winning the election. Hey, I see that as like 39 points ahead, because going into 2016, they said there was a 99% that Hillary Clinton would win the race, and Trump was so far in behind in Pennsylvania, it wasn't even considered a serious toss-up state. So we are in the fight, we are fighting hard, and we will make sure that President Trump wins Pennsylvania.
Justin, one more question for you before I turn back to Sean. Do you think right now Biden's up there trying to be Joe from Scranton instead of the guy that represents the party at Davos and these global corporations from Wilmington? Is Joe Biden getting any traction with working class people in Northeast Pennsylvania, which is, this election could come down to Northeast Pennsylvania? They selected Joe Biden for this particular reason. Is Biden making any inroads in your mind?
Oh, I think Joe Biden has turned into an embarrassment. I think a lot of people in this area don't see Joe Biden as the Joe Biden of the past. They see him as drifting to this anti-police,
Does anyone know if the Rod of Iron Ministries, are they a 501c3? I'm just asking. Does anybody know if 501c3, 501c4? Anyone? Anyone?
Pro-communist, kind of crazy leftist progressive. And they don't like what they're saying. It's he used to be a good old boy, but he's not anymore, and he's made his bed with the.
Also from 2 Timothy 4, I solemnly charge you in the presence of God and Christ Jesus, who is to judge the living and the dead, and by his appearing in his kingdom preach the word, be ready in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with great patience and instruction. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but wanting to have their ears tickled, they will accumulate for themselves teachers in accordance to their own desires, and will turn away from the ears of truth, and will turn aside to myths. But you be sober in all things, endure hardship to the work of the evangelist, fulfill your ministry. We are supposed to reprove those who are in error. It is throughout the New Testament.
Billionaire elite who want to, basically, turn us into feudal serfs. So, the people are not stupid here. They're not going to have that. They don't want that. They want their freedom. They want their liberty. They want to be able to own small businesses. They want to have families. They don't want the government messing with their lives. They want to be able to frack. They want to go about doing manufacturing business, have protection for their businesses from Chinese flooding our markets with low-cost goods made by slave labor. So the folks around here know what's going on, and they certainly do see that President Trump has benefited them. So they're not stupid. That's what I gotta say, man, Steve.
Pastor Sean, there's such a massive turnout for these two events over the weekend. I was really blown away by it. You see all type of analysis coming out of Washington now that evangelical Christians or faith-based Christians, that Trump overwhelmingly won in 2016, that there's been at least 20 to 25% of that vote that just doesn't believe in President Trump. They think he's been too tough, too much of a bully. For a whole host of reasons, they've turned away. As a pastor, are you seeing that as still this hardcore Christian base, these faith-based people that live their religion, that really focus on lived Christianity? Do you think they still have President Trump's back, or you notice any wavering at all?
Oh, absolutely, Steve. They have President Trump's back 100%. He's the only candidate that's standing up to stop, the genocide of the children. Over 70 million killed here in America. That makes almost 1 out of 3 women in America someone who has murdered their child. I mean, we're talking about serious anti-biblical culture. We're talking about drag queen story hours. We're talking about transgenderism being pushed on your kids. We're talking about the normalization of pedophilia in the schools. We're talking about serious sexual licentiousness being pushed upon our Christian children. And if there's anybody out there who claims to be Christian or even loosely related to Christ or Christian faith in general, they must absolutely not vote for Joe Biden. He will bring in the most dangerous form of communism, socialism that this side of the world has ever seen. And we will become like China. I wouldn't be surprised if through the UN, we would see troops on our own borders, Chinese troops. I mean, this is just absolutely over the top insane, but everybody who is in the body of Christ must not stand up for the incredible anti-Christ, anti-Christian positions that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris stand for.
Taking the 70 million because people had abortions. I want to ask you, we got 30 seconds left. How do you go from Joe Biden being a progressive Democrat to having Chinese troops on the border? Well, you got 30 seconds. Walk me through the logic of that.
Well, if you have, for example, if there's chaos, if there's a civil war that may break out, the left on the West Coast have been saying they may succeed. They may ask for humanitarian aid, quote, or medical supplies. And of course, the UN and different militaries that are, in the UN could, be invited into those different areas. And they could be, used for what they would call humanitarian aid. But we would literally have military here in China, just like they did a couple of years in Germany, with the UN doing those kind of operations. So that's something that we definitely don't want to see. We got free from North Korea. We don't want America to become North Korea. God bless you, Steve, and God bless America.
Get your social media up in the next segment. Thank you guys for joining us.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell. And
Mike Lindell, My Pillow, spoke to the CNP. Remember Mike Lindell also when he was speaking about making masks for the coronavirus. Turning his fabric into making masks. You got to use the coupon code Q. Okay, use the coupon code Q to get a discount when you ordered your My Pillow. All right, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. You just missed us, Negan. Where were you at? You just missed us. Hit the thumbs up if you liked the stream. I enjoyed doing this one. Don't fall for the false patriotism of Rod of Iron Ministries. Don't fall for the false Christianity espoused by the Rod of Iron Ministries. It's a continuation of the Unification Church. In bed with the Council for National Policy and the phony right. This is not good for anyone. It just isn't good. And Steve Bannon, CNP member, platform boosted him. Gave him huge exposure. Sickening. It truly is. All right, everybody. God bless you. Take care. See you next time.